Hello viewers, well today we have our first coverage of WRC 3. Let's take a look. Okay viewers, so my first run then on WRC 3, let's see what it's all about. Well, firstly the graphics are improved, you can see that straight away. The car model's looking slightly better than I was expecting, and away we go. So a couple of turns of the wheel and already I can feel the handling much better. The car went where I wanted it to go. I immediately saw the handling and felt some good force feedback as well at the moment. You know, the force feedback was working for me. This is nice around the first few corners, and the conditions are quite tricky. You need to be much slower. You can see the rev limiter maxing out there. That's actually a little bit of wheel spin I'm getting, and so what I'm doing, this is one of my first ever drives on the game. Well, it's actually my first. And what I'm trying to do is just really learn how to drive it. Straight away, I've put my foot down in a similar way to you would in dirt, and you're getting wheel spin and all the rest of it. So you're looking for that comfort, and what you need to do is really, there's a lot of throttle control needed this time. You know, you're half throttle through the corner, say in third gear, keeping a slide going, really controlling the car, controlling the grip. All those features, the hairpins are there, it all works properly now. So graphics are looking good, handling is, well, way better than I was expecting. So I'm sure many of you will be asking, you can see I made a mistake going in there and then that triggered that second error there, and that's because using the brakes here I was finding the front was really locking up very easy for me, so I'd probably have to alter the braking pressures in some way just to give myself a slightly better feel, slightly more progressive under braking, because if you lock up on these track condition or circuit stage conditions, you're going to end up in a wall very quickly. So you're using the power to control the car, and you'll see that actually far from slowing down when I'm making a mistake, I try to find the control to keep momentum in the car, to slide it in the way I would in the direction of travel. So going through these tight twisty sections, this is one of several stages of the Monte Carlo rally. And you can see obviously for yourself the detail there. Now I'm going to point out, as you've seen on the screen, this is not the final audio, and they haven't put in all the details yet, such as the crowd and other aspects. So there's a lot more detail to be applied to this, but already visually it's much better than I was expecting, and it handles much better than I was expecting, and it plays well with the wheel as well. So the mistakes you're seeing are more from me because of my driving, just not knowing how to play it and trying to discover different techniques. What gear should I enter corners? You know, how does the car slide progressively? What kind of wheel input do I need for each slide? There's a lot to take into account. So people will compare it to Richard Burns. I'm not comparing this to Richard Burns. This is just a pure rally simulator, but it's certainly an awful lot more challenging than Dirt and games of that ilk. That's not to say Dirt isn't fantastic fun. I think Dirt 3 was intuitive and it was brilliant. But this just adds a little bit more challenge to it in terms of understanding the grip of the car, the surface that it's on, and how that interferes with the car and its handling. Got a range of camera views here for you guys to look at, just so you can see the in-game. You're noting that my screen in the top corner is a little bit blue, so I thought I opted for the slightly different camera arrangement. That can happen sometimes when you have a camera filming a screen and you have a lot of white light. You can see the detail though, lots there, really nice ground textures as well, these really standing out. And though I'm learning, and this is the first time I'm ever driving on this section, I'm listening to the new co-driver. He's given me reasonably good commands so far. I've been following it, and it's been all laid out pretty well for me. So far so good. We'll need to be testing different cars, different stages, different surfaces, to really find out what the full game's going to handle. But this was just the first stage of Monte Carlo. Let's take another little analysis of this in just a moment as I finish the stage. So that was the first impressions, the first look at WRC 3 then. First impressions then, I liked it a lot. Thought it was a lot of fun. It was loads better than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting anything of it really. I think WRC 1 it was very much designed for the controller for me. It didn't really develop in quite the way we had hoped. We played it before it came out. It was looking good, but it just didn't develop past that point. WRC 2 seemed to have a lot of additional elements, but wasn't the sum of its parts. But there were some really nice aspects to it. And now WRC 3, with much improved graphics, new stages, it's a much more complete rally experience that's being developed. Now, not all the rallies are in this current version. You'll see a few videos now just going through the different rallies that are available in this build. These videos that we're first looking at are the first hands-on, and they're representing my first ever time playing. You're seeing me explore the stages, making mistakes and everything else. And then when I've played the game, I'll put in some more representative times and see how quick I can go, and I'll learn how to play it, because it is a lot about learning throttle control and when to change gear. You'll see my gear maxing out, but I know that my wheels are spinning, so I'm backing out and trying to get the grip back at times, and sometimes I want to keep those wheels spinning to slide around the corner, and it's learning how to approach each surface. So there's a lot more depth to the handling this time than we've seen for some time in a WRC game on console, and hopefully this will get a few more console fans involved as well. So first impressions, very good, as I say, and I'll keep repeating in the videos. The sound isn't complete. The co-driver, I like the co-driver, well spoken, that's good, giving me good clear commands. Nice to see, really works with me on these stages. I was doing those stages for the first time, listening to the commands, and I understood what was coming. That's good, that's really helpful. Obviously the size of the game, the graphics and the handling, you know, it's all being worked on all the time, and there'll be feeder classes as well, which we'll be looking at for newcomers to the rally genre. But first look, it's pretty good. You'll see around me now different videos for the different stages that we're going to be showing over the next few days as I explore them for the very first time, and then in a few weeks time we'll be coming back to it, hopefully a bit more depth, and I'll be doing some complete rallies as well, and by then I'll have learned to drive it properly, have some real rally driver feedback as well, and have some information to give you guys on that. If you have any questions, forward them over, especially for the developers. I can put those in front of them, or even details you'd like to see in the game as well. Be positive, show me the questions, and I'll see if I can get those in front of the guys. But that's it from me for now, viewers. As ever, more soon.